You put yourself into this program, or maybe someone else put you into this program. Raise your hand if someone else put you into this program. Really, just those people? All right. Well, whether you got pushed into the program or you voluntarily got yourself in here, I want to acknowledge you, because it takes a lot of courage to get up as early as you had to today and get yourself ready for college. Now, one of the things that I have heard again and again, and you probably heard of as well, is that you need a college degree to be successful. How many of you have heard you need that college degree to be successful, right? There may be some exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, a college degree is going to open those doors to success. And it also requires stepping outside your comfort zone. You've already started to step outside your comfort zone when you got yourself into this program and when you got here today. Some of your friends are still sleeping or binge watching, but they're in their comfort zone. The comfort zone is where you don't take any risks, you never try anything new, you never really do anything different in your life. Now, you may be wondering, well, how can I tell if I'm in my comfort zone? It's a good question, right? Typically, you can find it when you start to feel those butterflies in your stomach, or when you start to feel nervous about something. You may have even felt that when you were getting ready this morning, or when you were waiting for the program to start. You may have felt it before a big game or a big performance, or maybe before you stepped up to go get the digits from the hottie across the hall. That's getting outside your comfort zone. That's taking a risk. That's risking failure, risking embarrassment. So why the heck would we want to live out there? Failure, embarrassment? No. Left swipe. That's your right swipe? I did it for you guys, but that's my left hand. It's a little different when you're up here versus in the audience. Yeah. I got you. But why is it important to be outside your comfort zone? Here's the thing. That's where your dreams live. That's where your goals live. That's where everything that you want in life lives, outside your comfort zone. So we have to take risks. We have to risk failure. We have to risk embarrassment. And it's quite likely that's going to happen to you. In fact, I guarantee it. That's the bad news. But the good news is that today, in the next hour, you're going to learn 4 cornerstones to recover faster from those failures, to not have the embarrassment impact you quite so much, so that you too can achieve your goals, to get to that college degree, and to have your dreams fulfilled. You sound like fun? We're worth it, right? Okay. Even if you've been put here, try and put on the openness, right? Okay. So the first cornerstone is clarity. We need to know where we're going in order to be successful. Because if we're not, we're going to get lost, we're going to get turned around, we're going to get distracted. Squirrel. So if you're distracted or you get lost, it's hard to be able to achieve your goals. So clarity is really important so you know where you're headed. How many of you use your GPS on your phone to get somewhere? Well, then props to you, because I use it all the time. Without my GPS, I wouldn't know how to get around town sometimes. But the thing is, what if you had to go to your GPS, but you had no destination address? Nowhere into your phone. You couldn't even Google it to find where you were going. You just have to kind of drive around and hope that you found it. That's how it feels without any particular goals or dreams. We just kind of start driving around aimlessly, hoping that we find what we want. So back when I was in college, long time ago, I know it's hard to believe. But when I was a freshman, I was undecided. I was undeclared. Had no idea what I wanted. But the challenge, what happened is that I also felt lost because I didn't know where I wanted to go. And I got distracted by things. I didn't really have any motivation or know what to do with my studies. They all just felt kind of pointless. And so my grades suffered until I found one class that I fell in love with, sociology. I didn't know what sociology was when I was getting into high school or getting into college, but it's the study of society and all the social groups. And it fascinated me. And in that moment, I had direction. I didn't know what I was going to do with it quite then, but I knew I had a place to go. I knew I could focus in on something. And with that, then I started to do better because I was more motivated and I found how all the other classes fit together. Now, if you're undecided, don't worry, don't panic. That's not what I'm not here to have you decide your major before you're ready, because I wasn't ready until I saw sociology. But if you don't know where exactly you want to go, start to put yourself in a particular direction. What kind of classes you enjoy? What are the ones that you get excited about? What are the ones that you do really well in? And start to gear in that direction towards a destination address. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of those big goals that you want in life, way down in the future. What does it mean to be successful? Is it to own a home? Or is it to live in a particular city? Or is it to have that college degree or to have a particular career? Whatever that is down the line, I want you to think about what is that big goal for you that would have you feel successful. And I also want you, because small goals are really important, small goals oftentimes are the stepping stones for us to get there. I want you to think of a smaller goal specifically for Smart Start. What would you be able to have as a goal at the end of these 4 weeks that would make it valuable, that would make you feel successful? Is it increasing your placement test scores? Or maybe it's even smaller than that and it's about showing up to class every time, not missing any classes, or turning your homework in on time and not turning it in late. Whatever those big goals and those small goals are, I want you to think about that. We're going to give you a note card. We're going to have a bunch of people hopefully pass it out quickly. So as you're thinking, think about those 2 goals for yourself. We may need to have more than 2 people. Okay. Okay. Just take a moment and write down a big goal and a smaller goal for you. And if we have some extra pens, if for some reason you don't have one, or you can grab one now. This will be an interactive conversation, so keep your pens out. One big goal and one Smart Start goal. So you're going to come up with at least 2 goals, one really big goal and one Smart Start goal. Yes. This row needs some. Okay, we're getting some for you. Does anyone have any extra index cards in the middle? I know we're needing some index cards. Think in your head. You can remember 2 goals, and you'll write them down once you get the piece of paper. They don't have to be perfect. You can change them if you want, but just go ahead and put something down for yourself. That would make a difference. That would inspire you. That would motivate you. think we're still working on the note cards? Okay. Nope, this is just for you. Thank you for your patience with those who don't. I'm going to give you another 15 seconds or so, and then I want you to turn to the person next to you and share those goals. If you haven't written it down, what are the ones you thought of? Go ahead. Turn to the person next to you. There we go. There we go. Aaron, why don't you share with Chris? Okay, you share together. There we go. Did you share? But you have it in your head? Going back out to go grab more? Is that what we're doing? Okay. We should, but they're probably done. Okay. Okay. Can I have you come back to the front to the room? Thank you. How many of you, any of you brave enough to share either your big goal or your Smart Start goal? Awesome. We got like 10. Awesome. Go ahead.
All right. Should I stand up?
Yeah, why don't you stand up? If you want to. If you don't want to, that's cool too.
Okay. My big goal is to make plenty of money to the point where I don't have to worry about swiping my card.
You go. Woo!
And my small goal is to hand in homework on time.
All right. Someone from the back of the room. Yes, all the way in the back.
Okay, so my biggest goal is to get my doctorate degree.
Your doctorate's degree? Nice. And do you want to share your Smart Start goal or just the one? I think she's complete. Go ahead. Yeah.
My Smart Start goal is obviously to concentrate on my test and have a successful 2 years here. And my biggest goal is to be able to provide my daughter with whatever she wants.
Fantastic. Yeah. If you want to.
My name is Dominic, and my big goal is to become a detective.
Right on.
My Smart Start goal is just to get a better score on the test.
All right, to get the passing score. All right. Yes.
Hi, my name is Xavier. My bigger goal in life to be successful is to become an animation director/voice actor.
Very cool.
Pass the summer course.
Pass the summer course. All right. All right, this side of the room is winning, so I got to go to this side of the room. Come on, we got it. We got to compete. Yes. Okay. Right on.
Is to get my bachelor's in science and nursing and to teach my son what a hard-working woman is.
All right. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Henry Zinnet, and
Say your name again.
Henry Zinnet.
One more time.
Henry Zinnet.
Henry Zenit. Okay.
The biggest goal I want to do is to be the best at something
All right.
Another one is the goal that I have at the end of Smart Set is to keep moving forward where miracles, especially God said, where I have goals and prizes that change something, that something's amazing.
All right, awesome. All right, the two ladies in the middle, and then we're going to move on and hold on to your goals. Yes. And then the one right behind you. Yeah. No, go ahead, and then she'll go. Special education, all right, right on. You're writing in your confidence. Yes.
My name is Patricia. My smart start goal is to have perfect attendance and to improve on my scores.
Okay.
And my big goal is that it's never too late to go back to school.
Right on. All right, I'm being motioned that we have one more that is dying to share. All right, you've been asked to stand up. Pass the placement test? Okay. Just to study more? All right, right on. So whatever your goals are, and I want to acknowledge all the people who stood up, right? It takes a lot of courage to say, this is my goal. That's vulnerable, right? Props for that. And you want to continue, if you were kind of fuzzy or you're really clear about it, just continue to refine because these goals are ever evolving. And you want to remember that successful people, right? I know how to get your attention. I work at a college. I ain't stupid. So successful people make goals and goals and goals and goals. Once they achieve one goal, they go on to the next one and on to the next one. So whether they're small goals or big goals, continue to make your goals, right? To make them. The next cornerstone is courage. It requires courage to step outside your comfort zone. And it requires a lot of courage to do it again and again and again. Even Ali, one of the men with the most tremendous courage, had wanted to remind you, I wanted to put this up because he continually practiced courage no matter how successful he was, because he knew what he wanted to accomplish down the road in his life. And he practiced that. Courage is about taking and doing those things differently, but not just doing things differently, but thinking differently, feeling differently, maybe about yourself, maybe about school, or the people around you. Now, it's easy enough sometimes to identify what do I need to do differently to be successful in college, right? Those are usually pretty easy to identify. But it's a lot harder sometimes when we know what we need to do, but it's still not changing. We're still not doing it, right? So sometimes it requires us to go back and maybe change our thinking and our feeling about this one particular piece in order for the habits to change. Now, for me, when I was in college, one of the things that I just didn't do was ask questions. I was the girl in class who had all the questions in my head, but was too afraid to raise my hand. And as I got into college, it got harder and harder, and I had more and more questions. And I kept getting more and more confused because I wasn't asking those questions. So I said to myself, you know what? Let me just ask the questions. So I would get into class, had a question, no hand raised. Had another question, no hand raised. I just sat there, still scared, and never took any action. And then I realized that the reason was 2 years prior, when I was in high school in history class, I raised my hand and asked a question, and everyone laughed at me, even the teacher. I don't even remember what the question was. But I knew that I was mortified, I sunk in my seat, and I never asked any questions again. But 2 years in my college, sitting in college and knowing that my success depended on me asking questions, I had to ask myself, am I going to let them dictate my success now? The answer was clear, no. So I started stepping outside my comfort zone again and again, and I continued to ask questions. It was scary, but I continued to take those risks, risking embarrassment, risking failure, and it wasn't quite so bad after all. And there were times, I asked a stupid question, probably because I wasn't paying attention in class. But it was so important for me to get past that. It was important for me to be courageous and to start speaking up. And my grades improved, and things started to shift. So I want to invite you to start thinking about what habits do successful college students have? What do they do to be successful? Just brainstorm a list. Turn to the person you were just chatting with about your goal. Turn to them and brainstorm. You're going to write, both of you write on the back side of your note card. You're going to use your note card again. Try and brainstorm 10 things that they do differently. What are 10 habits they have? Whether you do them or not, what are 10 things that they do? Go ahead. Make sure you try and get 10. 10 things that they do, what 10 habits they do to be successful. Better? Okay. Whether you got to 10 or not, can I hear just 3? I know there's 10 in there, but I want to hear what are 3 things? Yes?
Focus, step outside of your comfort zone, and study a lot.
And study a lot, focus, and step outside your comfort zone. Do you have 3 different ones? Hold on 1 second. Right behind you and then to you. Go ahead. The gentleman, yeah. Budget time. Right, reading the assignment thoroughly. Right, so they've got someone double check the assignment. Awesome. And the young lady in front of him. That's you, darling. Yeah.
I said he said the mandatory.
Okay.
But I said make sacrifices and
Study schedules and make sacrifices. And one person over here. Yes, in the back. Yeah. Be yourself. What was about the toxic people? So push them to the side. Left swipe them, right? Left swipe the toxic people. And the first one you said was stop procrastinating? Right on. In the far back, yes. Don't quit? Okay. Know what you want. Okay, awesome. So what I'd like for you to do is check the ones that you already do. There may be one, two, or maybe several that you already do that are on that list. And then, after you check them, I want you to star one or two new things that you want to start practicing here in Smart Start. What are one or two habits you want to start practicing here in Smart Start? All right. And you wanted to share one of your stars? Go ahead.
Not procrastinate anymore and have better time management.
Get organized, better time management, and stop procrastinating. They kind of all relate, right? I'm going to try and see if I can find someone else. Anyone else? Yes. Do your homework. Right on. Do it on time even? All right. Do it on time. Okay. Study and ask questions. Right on. Yes. Be on time to classes. All right. Yes. Open the ears and listen. In the back, there's someone really eager to share. All right, so not get distracted, putting the technology away and really focus. And yes, one right in front of him. Get out of your comfort zone, right on. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of, because these are probably things you already knew you needed to do. It's my hunch that these are not new habits for you, but you've probably gotten stuck somewhere with these habits. So I want you to think about the attitudes and the beliefs. Now, a successful person who does these things that you've starred, how do they think about themselves as students? What do they say or think about college or classes or school or the people around them? I want you to write down what are some of the things that they would do, the ones that did, especially the starred things. How would they think about themselves as students, and what would they be saying about school or college? Go ahead and do that now. I almost, even breathing sometimes will hit it. So make sure you've written down at least one belief and one attitude. And then turn to the person next to you and share those. Share what you starred and share the beliefs and attitudes that they would have in order to act that way. Go ahead and do that. Take another 30 seconds or so. Okay, come on back to the front of the room. Right on. I really want to thank you for being such, one, participatory in your groups, but also coming back. It makes it a lot easier, and we can go through things, and I can share a lot more, and we can hear from more people. So, any attitudes or beliefs, either one of those that really stuck out for you that you know you need to possibly start practicing in order to really do this habit? Wow, you guys are like all participatory in this one, not so much. All right, yes?
I doubt myself a lot, so I want to have a positive and encouraging attitude.
That you can accomplish something, right? So a sense of confidence about yourself as a student. Right on, right behind you.
I need to work out becoming less overwhelmed
Right, so when you look at something, you're going to just take a breath and not become overwhelmed. Right on. Yes? All right, so be courageous and be confident? And strong. Right on. And one more. Yes? Don't let your anxiety get the best of you. Because you're going to have anxiety. It's just about what you do with it, right? Right on, right on. The third cornerstone is commitment. The commitment to get back up. The commitment to get back up when you fall down or stumble. Now, if you think about it, think of a new baby trying to learn to walk. They get up on both legs, do a little wobble. They may not even take that first step before they fall down. But then they get back up. They wobble again. They may take that first step and they fall down. They may take 2 or 3 steps, and I know you've seen them, whether they are your own kids, brothers and sisters, cousins, wherever. You've seen them get back up again and again and again and again. They've got perseverance. At no point does a baby say, you know what, psh, I'm just going to be a crawler for the rest of my life. Screw this walking thing. Right? They don't say that. Play along with me. So at no point do they say that. So I want you to think for yourself. When you fall down, what is it going to take for you to get back up? It's typically that level of commitment. That commitment to the goal that you wrote down, but the goal, even the bigger goal of what you want in life. That has to be bigger than the obstacle that you're facing in that moment when you're on your butt, in your diaper. And you've probably already had these moments in your life. I'm going to guarantee you probably experienced something that you've had to overcome, and you've practiced perseverance. It may have taken you perseverance to get through high school, or to get into this program, or just to be here today. And I want to acknowledge you for the perseverance you've already practiced, and I want you to begin to translate that to your college career. Because perseverance is what's going to take you to the finish line. Now, how many of you watched the NBA Finals this week? Few of you, right? Anyone vote for Steph Curry and the Warriors? A few? All right. So I was a Curry fan. I lived in Oakland. I lived in Oakland for several years, so I gotta represent the West Coast. How many of you were rooting for LeBron and the Cavs? All right, so no matter where you were voting, who you were voting for, or even if you thought you didn't even know that the NBA Finals were going on, it's possible. But here's the thing. Here's what I want to point out with the Cavs and specifically LeBron. Whether you are a fan of him or not, I want you to hear this. LeBron had, over the last 2 years when he went back to Cleveland, however you felt about him going back to Cleveland, he went back and he had 2 years of obstacles. He made it all the way to the finals last year and lost. He made it all the way to the finals this year and was down 3-1, meaning the last 3 games were do or die. And no team in history had ever won being down 3-1. But it was his commitment to his team. It was the commitment to his city that had him totally kill it in the last three games. He outscored, he out-rebounded, he out-assisted, and he out-blocked everyone on that court. He used his commitment to get past any obstacles in his way. Even though there was literally nothing that said it's possible. There was no history that said, yes, someone has done what you've done. But he made it happen. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go and you're going to win an NBA Finals, and maybe you are. But LeBron's commitment had him win the championship because he persevered beyond any obstacle that got in his way. And you have an opportunity to take that and use that perseverance in your own life, wherever you have used it in the past, using it into your college career. Because we all have persevered beyond something. And it's just an opportunity of being able to put that and rethinking, using that courage to get back up. So I want you to think for yourself. See, I'm bringing everyone in. Because, as Pitbull says, you're going to have failures in your life if you're going to be successful. There are going to be moments when you lose. It's just a matter of what you do in between. Because it's going to take that commitment that's going to get you past your obstacle. So I want you to think for yourself, as I was sharing the places where you've already overcome obstacles in your life and you've practiced perseverance. Identify what that was and what had you get past that obstacle. And the other thing I want you to do is to potentially foresee or predict what could be some obstacles you come up against when you get to later down into Smart Start, and how are you going to overcome those? So it's a 2-part question. How have you already used perseverance, and how could you use it in the future for Smart Start? Knowing your potential past habits. Okay, so go ahead, turn to your partner and share those just between you and your partner. So people should be sharing. Wrapping up. And come on back to the front of the room. Okay. Now I'm going to jump over that one and just come to this one on your right. What is something that you could predict, that an obstacle that you could potentially foresee happening in the next 4 weeks? And then how do you plan to overcome it? Yes. So balancing work and school, right? Do you have a full-time job or part-time job? Part-time job, right? And so sometimes you can foresee that work may get in the way. So how are you going to do that? So what do you have planned to persevere past that? Right, so you've already been proactive in having that conversation with your boss, which I really want to acknowledge you for, so that you can be successful, and you've already started to budget your time. Right on, very cool. Yes?
I said the same thing about managing work and school, managing jobs.
Yep.
I plan to do like start in the morning, and then I try to study in the afternoon, and then at night.
Okay, so you've already started even with 2 jobs, you're planning to work at night and then go to school in the morning and study in the afternoon, and then so you've managed your time. Right on. Any other kinds of potential obstacles you've seen? Yes?
Budgeting the amount of fuel in my car with all the other stuff that I've done to make sure I get over here on time.
All right, so making sure that you've got enough gas in the car in order to make sure you can get here. All right. Very cool, very cool. Did anyone potentially talk about, well, what if I fail a test or fail an assignment?
No, because I ain't feeling nothing.
All right, all right. So this is potentials, right? So this is about preparing ahead of time for anything so that you have the perseverance to get past it. Very cool. Oops, wrong way. The final cornerstone is community. It's what holds everything together. The community is the group of people, the person or people around you that help you gain clarity in your vision, that help you muster your courage in order to step outside your comfort zone, and remind you of your commitments to your goals when you fall down. Smart Start is an opportunity to build community as well. You've got faculty, you've got peer mentors or peer tutors here that are supporting you and helping you push towards your goals, even when you may not want to. So start to look for your community even here. And you may even have people at home or people back in your neighborhood that are part of your community as well. Probably the person who pushed you into this program may be part of your community. For me, when I got to college, I grew up in California. I went to school in Pennsylvania. I had to get out of California. That's another presentation. But when I was there, I had to start and build my community, and I was really fortunate to have a good set of friends, but also mentors. And one particular mentor made a huge difference for me. Why do I keep doing that? Dr. Mary Washington. She was the person that had me fall in love with sociology. She was the person that had me become the activist that I was in college and that I am today. She transformed my life. She pushed me beyond what I thought was even possible for myself. And she continues to inspire me because now she's left the college world and has become a House delegate for Maryland, for the state of Maryland, similar to our New York State Assembly. And she's representing Baltimore and was actually a very vocal voice, very vocal person when it came to the Baltimore police brutality case of Freddie Gray, and got on TV and the media to make sure that the voices of Baltimore were heard. She continues to inspire me. And the people like that I've been very fortunate to have the people like that in my life, and I hope that you keep an eye out and find people like that in your life to keep inspiring you and to hold you accountable, because that is what's going to have you get to your goal. Now, the people in this these are the three doctors that you read about in the book, The Pact. And I know you guys read that from cover to cover, right? That was your summer assignment? So these three young men came from Newark and made a pact with each other to not just graduate from college, but to become doctors. They used each other when they fell down. They used each other when they wanted to give up. And they created that friendship that they literally feel helped save their lives. You have the opportunity to build that community, to build that pact with people here, people in your neighborhood, people in your home, whoever that is in your life, so that you can continue to move forward and towards your goals. So there are 4 key cornerstones: clarity, courage, commitment, and community that will have you achieve the goals that you want in your life. Because they keep you outside your comfort zone, they build that emotional muscle, the endurance to stay outside those comfort zones, because that is where your dreams live. Today is the beginning of your future and your college degree. Today is where you get to start to have your dreams fulfilled. So I invite you to forge your future today and beyond. Thank you. We can do questions. Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for Sarah? Anybody else in the audience that might have?
I'll be around after if you have any individual questions. Sometimes questions in front of the group may be a little intimidating. One question. Yes. Sarah Nowlin. Anything else? That was an easy one. You said you didn't have any questions. Okay. What am I in charge of? I work at Marist College, so I am coming here as a special guest. So this is the only time that you'll see me. So if you do have any questions, now is the time. Or if another question comes up, Lori has my contact information. But I do work at Marist College, so hopefully in 2 years, you can come and see me over at Marist, if that's where you want to go.
Thank you, Sarah. How about a round of applause? Thank you very much. Very inspiring. So our next speaker sat in the same seats that you did 2 summers ago. Nope, it's not Eric. This individual is a member of our Bridges to Excellence program, for those of you who are interested in that. She just graduated Duchess in May with her Associates in Science and Business. And she's going to begin her studies over at Marist as a junior this year in the business department. This young lady is also a Conklin Scholar. And this summer, she's working in the Office of Academic Services and Testing as our summer intern. You've probably met and spoken with her. Her name is Jessica Santos Cruz. And Jessica's going to come up and speak.
So, how are you guys? I'm good. I know you guys are probably tired, and I'm not Eric. I'm sorry. But, exactly. Okay, so I want to start off by answering a question that someone asked me on one of the open houses. This person came up to me and told me that I like being in Smart Start. My response was, yeah, you know? And what shocked me was he replied saying, you don't have to lie to me. You can be honest. Well, I was being honest. My answer will always be yeah. It won't change to no. It will never change to a yes. And the reason is because there are things I liked about this program, but there are things I didn't. I didn't want to give up my summer, just like many of you guys. But I did it because it was for the best. I didn't want to do homework because it was my summer. But I did it, and it was worth it. I didn't want to present in front of a large crowd. It was over 200 people at closing day. But I did it. And thanks to that, I'm not scared of speaking in public anymore. And that's the thing. That's what Smart Start does. It takes you out of your comfort zone, and that's something good. But overall, Smart Start, the best thing that it did for me was it gave me the chance to go to college. Let me explain this. I was just like you guys. I went, took the placement test. I didn't do good. I didn't know that, though, until I went to Advise. And that's where I learned that I lost my scholarship. Losing that scholarship meant everything to me. It meant my only opportunity to come to college. Yes, it might be a community college, but it's something. It's a stepping stone. I had to go try to find jobs. I was like, okay, McDonald's isn't that bad. I can always, I don't know, do something there. But there was something else. There was a second opportunity, a second chance. A chance called Smart Start, a program that was free, which was something really important to me. And it was a second chance that I wanted to take. I didn't want to give up, not just yet. Smart Start doesn't only teach you the courses that you need to do in order to pass this placement test. It teaches how to get out of your comfort zone. You make friends. You learn how to interact. You get to manage your time better. And you also learn how to prepare for life, not just college. You learn things you never would have known. And before you realize it, you're already taking your exam again. I know when I was in this program, those weeks flew by so fast. It was advising day when I realized it, and the advisor told me I did. I placed it. I passed the placement test and placed into English 101. Not only that, I recovered my scholarship. So I was able to come to this college. But Smart Start, even though the program ended, it didn't stop there. Thanks to learning how to communicate with your instructors, I met Pat, who was my CSS instructor, and she gave me my first job. She recommended me to be a student aide at the office. Therefore, I wasn't unemployed anymore. After working in the office as student aide, the next summer, I became the math tutor for the Smart Start program. So I was helping there, being the Smart Start tutor. And thanks to all that, my resume started building up, and I became the marketing intern at Tedesco, which is the lunch that we ate today. That's the company that runs it. So I hope you like that too. But I think the best thing of all was the ability to be in the Bridges to Excellence program. Because now that I graduated, I'm going to Marist as a junior. So, so I'm going to end this really quickly, you see? Smart Start is something you all chose to be in. You guys all signed this contract. No one forged your signature. You guys all did it. Even though you were forced, to be here. Some of you didn't want to be here. You guys chose to do it. You guys chose to say, look, this is a second chance, and I'm going to pass this test now. I don't care what this test says. I am ready for college courses, so I'm going to prove it. And if the faculty and staff, you guys could stand up. And peer mentors, stand up too. Face the students. All these people, they're giving up their summer as well. We're not going on vacation or anything. We're all here for you guys. And if you guys need help, everyone's here. Your instructors, your tutors, your peer mentors, I'm here. If you guys need any help, we're all here. You guys all chose to be in Smart Start, so take advantage of it. Thank you.
Wow, great job. Very moving. She's bringing me to tears over there. So, what we're going to do now is I'm going to bring Lori Scalero up, our coordinator of our Smart Start program. She's got a few announcements she would like to share with you before we begin the tours. You're welcome.
Thank you, Jennifer. Let's give Jennifer a round of applause for kicking us off today, because we, often the first person to charge up to the stage or podium doesn't really get the recognition. So, but thank you. I just have to say again about after listening to Jessica speak, I'm kind of floored, and it's so nice to see growth in people. Thank you. And nailed it, Sarah Nowlin, right? What about Sarah? Fantastic. And you folks participating so openly with that. I know, you guys, I watched the whole season of Californication. The whole thing. Okay, and then, so a couple formality things before we move on. This was left on a table. The only way to identify it is that there is a bingo game in it with a few people's names on it, none of which is probably the person it belongs to, but Julia and Maddie. If you're a person who was interacting with Julia and Maddie, I'm putting my detective hat on, and this might be your book. But on that note, a formality, a technicality is that you should probably put your name in this book because there's at least 165 of them out there, okay? Pencil, that's great because then you can erase it at the end, but put your name in this book so that, it can be identified. And along with that, you're going to get your supply bag today. Before you go, put your name in that, okay? And this other little thing was also left. It's a not so little black book, but this was also left on a table. If either of those things are yours, at the end, they're right up here on the stage, okay? So come and get them, and that's the last of picking up I'll do after you folks, okay? Because this is about making you adults. All right. So the next order of business, a few things to talk about before we part ways, because I won't see you again until tomorrow for classes, but you do have some things to do with your peer mentors before you go. Tomorrow's classes, if you're an 8:30 class, what time are you going to be here? Say it again so I really believe you. 8:15, okay, fantastic. And if you're in 11:30 classes, about 11:15, fantastic. A few of you, and I don't want to have the whole, like flies on you-know-what come running after this, a few of you have noted that you are interested in possibly getting into the morning. I'm telling all of you right now, if you haven't realized it yet from the way that people react to you being here, whether it's a person sitting next to you or like here in the faculty area or up here, you are lucky. You are lucky to have the opportunity. So embrace it. As far as movement from morning or morning to afternoon or whatever, I will try. No guarantees, okay? If it's possible, I can make it happen. But it's not looking good. We're full. Do you see how full we are? So the morning is as full as the afternoon is at this point, to tell you the truth, and that's wonderful. So in total, like 162 students are benefiting from this summer's program. So that's pretty fantastic. And like Jessica so eloquently says, all for free, okay? So you're going to, I'm going to work on dismissing you. Are there any questions before we part ways? The very last piece of today is, please listen, you're going to go on tours of the campus with your peer mentors so that you are fully aware of where you need to go tomorrow for classes, plus other great things about the college campus, okay? At the end of the tour, you're going to pick up your supply bag, okay? Which, by the way, has everything in it except for loose leaf paper and dividers, but we're going to give you those things tomorrow in College Success Skills class, and you'll understand why when you get there, okay? Of note, please listen. I wasn't kidding when I said put your name in some of the things that we're giving you for nothing, because there's 160-something of them out there. Also of note, what is tomorrow? What day of the week? It's Tuesday. So you're going to get your schedule. And the very first day that it will appear there is which day? Monday. Very good. A typical week runs Monday through Friday, or for our purposes, Monday through Thursday, right? Because we are off on Fridays. So really make sure that you follow Tuesday's class schedule tomorrow, okay? And you'll clearly see the differences between Monday and Wednesday are parallel, and Tuesday and Thursday are parallel days, okay? We usually have a way of finding you, though, if we have to, but, you know, you'll really impress me if you'll get to where you need to go tomorrow morning, okay? Any other questions? Oh, yes. You're on what? Yeah, so we fed you today, and it was fantastic. I appreciate the shout-out for Sedesco, too, and I will compliment them on the lunch today formally. But we fed you today, and the next time we feed you is closing, okay? So you need closing day, okay, which is a month away, 4 weeks. You need to provide yourselves some kind of snack or lunch. You do get a half-hour break every day, okay? The peer mentors will point out vending machines and stuff. You came to where the cafeteria is, but conceivably you will not have enough time to trek from Hudson Hall to the cafeteria to get something and get back to class, okay? Faculty will give you their thoughts about eating in the classroom and drinking, generally not, especially in computer rooms, okay? And I always tell my students, do not bring your egg and pepper sandwich to my classroom and smell it all up like we're having some kind of Friday night barbecue, okay? So the other thing is, or I tell them, if you're bringing food for you, then bring food for all, okay? But like cup of coffee, decaf, right? And water, in a closed container, that's good stuff. We'll talk about that in College Success Skills. You have to be hydrated, taking care of your physical self helps you to take care of this part of yourself, right? Okay? The other thing is that I felt like I had to remind you a little this morning that one of the policies of Smart Start with Code of Conduct is that there's no cell phones. And I think you told the line for the most part. Today in the theater, a couple of you were nudged and all that stuff. Please put them away, out of duty to yourself. We only have 16 days of instruction with you. 16 days, folks. That is less than 3 weeks of time together, okay? Do not waste that valuable time by being someplace other than here, whether it's on your phone or, you're thinking about something else or whatever, but the phones are a distraction, so please. And, there's no outward penalty, but that's the differences between high school and college, right? If you read that handout that I gave you at open houses, which I told you, there's no detention for using cell phones and that kind of thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that's high school. And college is like, make the choice to be where you are, be present, because that's what's good for you, right? Yeah, I know that you're going to charge forward with that frame of mind. The other thing is we gave you these name tags, okay? Jessica worked very hard to make these folks, so think of her every day when you put them on and wear these to classes, okay? Because, hold on a second, I didn't know that would be cause for conversation. Wear them to classes because the last C, right, of Cornerstones. What's the last C of Cornerstones? Little review from Sarah's talk. Community, very good. How do you build community if you don't know people's names? And how do you learn people's names? By having some kind of cue. And you're wearing your name tags, please listen. Not just so that your teachers can get to know you by name, but that you can know each other by name. Okay, Smart Start is designed to have a lot of classroom interaction in some of the classes. It's very interactive, and we want you to interact with people to people, not just, oh yeah, that girl, whatever that girl said. That's so like, ugh, okay? So wear your name tags, okay? That will help us out tremendously, okay? And out of respect for Jessica's time, she spent a lot of time designing them and putting them together, printing them out and all that stuff. Right? Some of you took a few minutes to even find yours this morning on the table, right? So make it all worth it. Okay. Other questions or comments? Yeah. What's your name? David. Okay, so David's question's on point. The other thing you're going to get when you get your supply bags is your class schedule, okay? And I want to share with you today that you got to know your classes already. The people that you interacted with today all day long are your classes for tomorrow, okay? So that you've already begun to build that community today, okay? And please listen, I spoke to you at open houses and I said to you that everything that we do in Smart Start is intentional, right? I'm an intentional person. I do not, I'll say it again, do not believe in busy work. I don't believe in doing things that do not have purpose. Okay, so everything today had purpose. We have 16 days of instruction, forging ahead, starting with tomorrow, and today was the foundation for that. So we got to get to business tomorrow meetings, so there's not so much time to continue to get to know each other, and that's why we spent most of today just doing that. Okay? Yeah? Question? No? Oh, just chit-chatting. Okay. I have the microphone. And I'll use it, damn it. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so I'm going to, because, listen, please, it's like not the Greyhounds at the gate. 200 people cannot exit the room all at one time. So we're going to dismiss by groups, okay? And your peer mentors have a designated sort of tour route they're going to take you on. And by the way, the answer to David's question, the very last thing, too, is you're also going to get your class schedule today. Did I make that clear? Yes. So do not leave before you get your supply bag and your class schedule, which happens at the end of the tour. 1 second, Andrew? You have a question or no? Okay. Good. Okay. So, is this the red dots up front? Okay. So Dante's group, Dante and Toya, just them, nobody else move, okay? So exit the room quickly, please, so that the others can start to disperse. And have a great afternoon, folks. I'm going to see you all tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. And Famada, so is your group next? And Yasmin, the red donuts, the red Cheerios. What do you guys want to be called? Red circles? Red O's? Samantha and Ariana, the blue circles. Great, you guys want to walk out this way, or I don't know. Yeah, just so you stay together, okay? Brianna and Brianna.